The power of faith and resilience. Insights from Chassidic Parashat Shemos. The narrative of Parashat Shemos unfolds a profound and pivotal moment in the history of the Jewish people, encapsulating themes of oppression, resilience, and divine intervention. This parasha marks the beginning of the Israelites' descent into slavery in Egypt and sets the stage for their eventual redemption. The opening verses introduce a new pharaoh, one who does not recognize the contributions of Yosef, the former viceroy who saved Egypt from famine and brought prosperity to the land. Instead of honoring Yosef's legacy, this pharaoh perceives the growing population of the Israelites as a threat to national security. His response is not one of diplomacy or coexistence. Instead, he opts for a brutal strategy of oppression, intending to subjugate the Israelites through hard labor and fear. However, as the text reveals, his efforts lead to the opposite outcome. The Israelites multiply and thrive. This paradox serves as rich ground for Chassidic interpretation, which emphasizes the interplay between human intentions and divine will. At the heart of this narrative is the critical dialogue that unfolds regarding the phrases pen yirbe and ken yirbe. Rashi, the revered commentator, highlights this dichotomy to illustrate a deeper spiritual truth. Pharaoh's fear-driven strategy is rooted in his belief that by breaking the spirit of the Israelites, he can suppress their growth. He envisions a future where they are diminished and poses a threat to his power. His calculated oppression seems to be a strategy of control over the fate of the Israelites. Yet Hashem's response reveals a divine counter-narrative. Despite Pharaoh's oppressive measures, the Israelites will indeed multiply. This dynamic underscores a fundamental Chassidic principle that resonates throughout Jewish thought: the resilience of faith and spirit in the face of overwhelming adversity. The imagery of Pharaoh's teeth being broken is particularly striking and rich in symbolism. In Chassidic thought, teeth represent the ability to bite, consume, and exert force, symbolizing Pharaoh's capacity for destruction and domination. By breaking Pharaoh's teeth, Hashem renders him powerless, his ability to harm is diminished, and his threats become toothless. This serves as a metaphor for the struggle between the forces of good and evil, between oppression and liberation. In this light, the suffering of the Jewish people transforms into a catalyst for growth and strength, illustrating the profound concept that adversity can lead to resilience and eventual redemption. Furthermore, the breaking of the teeth signifies that the very tools Pharaoh hoped to wield against the Israelites become the means of his own undoing. This transformation is not merely a consequence of divine intervention, but rather a reflection of the strength inherent within the Israelites themselves. The narrative teaches that even when faced with the most formidable oppressors, the spirit of a people can remain unbroken. In the context of Chassidic teachings, this theme resonates deeply within the Jewish experience, highlighting the belief that faith can serve as a powerful counterforce against tyranny. The Chassidic interpretation invites us to reflect on the nature of our personal and collective challenges. We often encounter pharaohs in our lives, forces that seek to undermine our spirit, whether through societal pressures, personal hardships, or internal doubts and fears. Yet the lesson from Parashat Shemos teaches us that these challenges can be transformative. When we confront adversity with faith and perseverance, we can transcend our limitations and emerge stronger. The narrative not only affirms the inevitability of growth in the face of oppression, but also underscores the importance of maintaining a steadfast spirit. Moreover, the idea of multiplication amidst oppression holds significant implications for the Jewish people throughout history. The story of the Israelites in Egypt is not merely a historical account, but a recurring theme in Jewish experience. From the trials of the Holocaust to the struggles faced by Jewish communities around the world today, the resilience of the Jewish spirit remains a defining characteristic. The lesson of Ken Yirbe resonates deeply, reminding us that even in our most challenging moments, we possess the strength to multiply spiritually, culturally, and communally. The experience of exile and persecution has often led to a flourishing of Jewish thought, creativity, and community. Just as the Israelites multiplied in Egypt, Jewish communities have continued to thrive and contribute to the broader tapestry of human civilization. In contemporary settings, the narrative of Parashat Shemos serves as a source of inspiration for individuals facing various forms of oppression and hardship. It encourages us to draw on our inner strength and faith, to resist despair, and to believe in the possibility of growth even in the direst circumstances. The story invites us to cultivate a sense of hope and perseverance, reminding us that our struggles can lead to profound personal and communal transformations. Just as the Israelites found strength in their collective identity, we too can draw strength from our communities and shared values. The notion of faith as a guiding light during times of darkness is central to Chassidic philosophy. In moments of despair and uncertainty, the teachings of the Chassidic masters remind us of the importance of maintaining a connection to our spiritual roots. This connection provides a source of strength that can guide us through our struggles. The resilience of the Jewish people, as illustrated in Parashat Shemos, serves as a powerful testament to the enduring nature of faith and the human spirit. In conclusion, Parashat Shemos serves as a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the unyielding nature of divine promise. The contrast between Pharaoh's fear and Hashem's assurance highlights the profound truth that oppression cannot extinguish the spirit of a people. Instead, it can ignite a fervor for growth and renewal. As we reflect on this narrative, we are encouraged to confront our own challenges with faith, embracing the understanding that every struggle can lead to greater strength and unity. In doing so, we not only honor the legacy of our ancestors, but also affirm our place in the ongoing story of the Jewish people, one of resilience, faith, and ultimately redemption. The lessons from Parashat Shemos continue to resonate through the ages, inspiring us to rise above our trials and to believe in the potential for a brighter future filled with hope and possibility. Sticking together, the strength of unity in the face of oppression, the narrative of the children of Israel's enslavement in Egypt is a poignant tale that resonates deeply with themes of unity, resilience, and the struggle against oppression. This powerful story raises critical questions about the dynamics of power, exploring the means by which one group can subjugate another, especially when the latter is numerous and seemingly powerful. How did the Egyptians manage to impose slavery on the Israelites, effectively extinguishing their collective strength and spirit? This inquiry compels us to examine the intricate strategies employed by the Egyptians, leading us to the conclusion that their success was not solely a result of brute force or sheer numbers, but rather a calculated approach to divide and conquer, an approach that ultimately relied on the Israelites' inability to maintain their unity and sense of identity. Rabbi Moshe ben Nachman, known as the Ramban, offers a profound analysis of this descent into slavery, shedding light on the insidious tactics employed by Pharaoh and his advisors. Rather than launching an overtly violent campaign against the Israelites, which would likely have incited a fierce rebellion, Pharaoh opted for a more covert and gradual approach. His strategy involved a series of measures designed to marginalize and isolate the Israelites within Egyptian society. By imposing discriminatory taxes specifically on foreign nationals, the Egyptians sought to create a sense of otherness, establishing a societal divide that weakened the Israelites' collective identity and diminished their social standing. The implications of this strategy were far-reaching and multifaceted. As the Israelites were made to feel like outsiders in a land where they had once thrived, their sense of community began to fray. The Egyptians' tactics were not mere acts of cruelty. They were calculated moves aimed at instilling fear and suspicion among the Israelites. By cloaking their hatred in the guise of state policy, Pharaoh and his advisors exploited the very fabric of society, creating an environment where cruelty towards the Israelites became not only permissible but normalized. This gradual erosion of social acceptance marked a pivotal transformation in the Israelites' status, leading to a profound psychological impact on the community. This process of dehumanization reached its grotesque zenith with Pharaoh's decree to the midwives. and later to the Egyptian populace, ordering them to dispose of male infants born to Israelite mothers. This horrifying act was shrouded in deception, with midwives falsely informing parents that their children were stillborn or lost. The emotional and psychological toll of such trauma was immense, leading to feelings of helplessness, despair, and isolation. As families grappled with the loss of their children, the Egyptians succeeded in further fracturing the bonds that held the Israelite community together. This deliberate strategy of sowing discord and despair among Israelites not only served to weaken their collective identity, but also aimed to instill a sense of hopelessness that would prevent any organized resistance. In this context, it is essential to highlight the role of the tribe of Levi, who emerged as a unique example of resilience amidst the systematic oppression faced by the Israelites. The Levites were exempt from the enslavement that befell their brethren, and their distinct status can be interpreted as a testament to the power of maintaining a cohesive identity and purpose. As the tribe destined to serve in the Beis Hamikdash, the Levites understood the importance of preserving their spiritual mission. They were not only the religious leaders of the Israelites, but also served as a core group of intellectuals and advisors. The Levites' commitment to their purpose allowed them to maintain a degree of autonomy and integrity during a time of widespread subjugation. While the broader Israelite population succumbed to the pressures exerted by the Egyptians, the Levites remained steadfast in their pursuit of knowledge and spiritual leadership, effectively becoming a beacon of hope and resilience for their people. Their ability to uphold their identity and mission not only positioned them as leaders within the community, but also served as a model of resistance against the forces of oppression. The Levites demonstrated that even in the face of overwhelming adversity, a strong sense of identity and purpose could foster resilience and solidarity. The story of the Israelites in Egypt transcends its historical and religious context. It serves as a timeless reminder of the challenges faced by marginalized communities throughout history and in contemporary society. The gradual erosion of the Israelite status illustrates how oppression can be enacted through social constructs that manipulate perceptions of identity and belonging. Just as the Egyptians employed tactics to divide and conquer, modern adversities often seek to isolate individuals and communities, eroding their collective strength through fear, suspicion, and misinformation. In today's world, where division and polarization are rampant, the message of unity that emerges from the Israelites' plight is profoundly relevant. It underscores the necessity of solidarity and collective action in the face of adversity. The Levites' example teaches us that maintaining a sense of purpose and identity is crucial in resisting the forces that seek to marginalize and oppress. When communities come together, they not only create a support system to navigate challenges, but also amplify their voices in demanding justice and equality. Moreover, this narrative invites a reflection on our responsibilities as members of society. It compels us to recognize the dangers of complacency and the importance of being vigilant against the forces that seek to divide us. By fostering connections with those who share similar struggles and standing in solidarity with marginalized groups, we can create a powerful collective that challenges the status quo. History teaches us that when individuals unite for a common cause, they can effectuate meaningful change and challenge oppressive systems. The story of the Israelites is also a profound exploration of faith and perseverance. Despite the relentless oppression they faced, the Israelites never completely lost hope. Their faith in a promised future sustained them, as did their belief in a higher purpose. The bond between the Israelites and their God remained unbroken, serving as a source of strength in their darkest hours. As they endured the hardships of enslavement, they clung to the hope of liberation. This hope was not merely a passive wish, it was an active force that fueled their resilience and inspired future generations to continue the struggle for freedom and justice. Furthermore, the narrative encourages an examination of leadership and the qualities that foster resilience within a community. The leaders who emerged from the Israelite ranks, such as Moses, embodied the spirit of perseverance and courage. Moses, who ultimately led the Israelites out of bondage, was not merely a figure of authority. He was a symbol of hope, empathy, and unwavering commitment to justice. His story illustrates how effective leadership can galvanize a community, inspire collective action, and challenge oppressive systems. As we reflect on this narrative, we are called to embrace the imperative to stick together, recognizing that in unity lies strength. By drawing strength from one another and standing firm against adversity, we can forge pathways toward liberation and justice, ensuring that the lessons of history are not forgotten but serve as a guiding light for future generations. The collective memory of the Israelites' struggles and triumphs serves as a testament to the enduring power of unity, illuminating the path forward for those who seek to challenge oppression in all its forms. The enduring legacy of the tribe of Levi, circumcision, identity, and divine service. Throughout the annals of Jewish history, the tribe of Levi stands out as an extraordinary embodiment of unwavering faith, resilience, and a profound commitment to their covenant with God. Their narrative is interwoven with the broader tapestry of Jewish identity and spirituality, particularly through the practice of circumcision, an ancient rite that symbolizes the sacred covenant between God and His chosen people. This essay delves deep into the multifaceted implications of the tribe of Levi's steadfast adherence to circumcision, their distinctly elevated role within the Israelite community, and the spiritual insights that emerge from their experiences amid the pressures and challenges posed by their Egyptian oppressors. Circumcision, a rite of covenant and identity. Circumcision, or Brit Milah, extends far beyond the physical act itself. It manifests as a profound statement of identity, faith, and belonging. This ritual, rooted in the biblical covenant established with Abraham, serves as a marker of allegiance to a lineage that is both sacred and ancient. The act signifies not only a physical alteration, but also a deep spiritual connection to God and the Jewish people's heritage. The Egyptians, who held a pronounced disdain for circumcision, perceived it as a grotesque and barbaric practice that marred male virility. Their cultural narrative suggested that circumcision impaired fertility, thereby threatening the potential for population growth among the Israelites. During a pivotal period in history, many neighboring tribes began to adopt Egyptian customs in a bid for acceptance and assimilation, abandoning this vital rite in the process. This cultural shift allowed the Egyptians to interpret the resulting population boom among these assimilating tribes as a natural consequence of their newfound way of life, leading them to develop a false sense of superiority. Consequently, the Egyptians became emboldened in their efforts to subjugate these tribes, forcing them into labor under the mistaken belief that their abandonment of circumcision had severed their ties to divine favor. In stark contrast, the tribe of Levi remained unwavering in their commitment to circumcision. For them, this act was not merely a cultural or familial obligation. It represented a bold declaration of identity and a steadfast commitment to their covenant with God. In an environment fraught with pressure to conform, the Leviim stood firm, maintaining their practices and beliefs. Their adherence to circumcision allowed them to retain a sense of self-worth and spiritual integrity, even amidst the overwhelming cultural onslaught of Egyptian assimilation. The Egyptians, witnessing the Leviim's continued population growth, despite their commitment to circumcision, began to interpret this phenomenon as a supernatural occurrence, one that set the tribe of Levi apart as a people favored by God. This perception engendered a reluctance among the Egyptians to actively oppress the Leviim, as they believed that any attempts to subjugate this tribe would be met with divine intervention. Thus, the Leviim's steadfast commitment to their covenant not only preserved their identity, but also provided a protective barrier against the oppressive forces that sought to eradicate their spiritual heritage. The unique status of Levi in Israelite society, the narrative surrounding Jacob's death, and his explicit instructions for the Leviim to carry his bier further elucidates their unique status within the Israelite community. This act, while seemingly a funeral rite, symbolized a future role for the Leviim as bearers of the Holy Ark, connecting them to the divine service that would be central to the Israelite experience. The Egyptians, recognizing Jacob's conferred special status upon the tribe of Levi, treated them with a degree of respect that was not afforded to the other tribes, partially due to their perceived spiritual significance. Moreover, the exemption of the tribe of Levi from territorial inheritance, as promised to Abraham, insulated them from the harsh realities of Egyptian subjugation. While other tribes were compelled to labor under the oppressive regime of Pharaoh, the Levim were granted a degree of autonomy, partially because of their unique status and partially due to their dedication to preserving their traditions. This exemption highlighted a fundamental aspect of their identity. The Leviim were not merely Israelites, they were the guardians of the covenant, tasked with the sacred duty of preserving the spiritual heritage of their people. As Pharaoh initiated a grand building program designed to promote national pride, he aimed to unify the Egyptians in a display of patriotism and collective effort. In a calculated move, he encouraged all citizens to participate, framing brickmaking as an act of loyalty to the state. The first day of this endeavor saw massive participation from the Egyptian populace, with the notable exception of the tribe of Levi, who chose to abstain from this oppressive labor. In an effort to bolster his own image, Pharaoh himself took up a brick mold, demonstrating that no task was beneath him, thereby attempting to inspire a sense of duty and commitment among his subjects. However, this facade of cooperation quickly unraveled. The Israelites, eager to impress their oppressors, overexerted themselves, producing twice as many bricks as their Egyptian counterparts. Unbeknownst to them, Pharaoh's accountants were meticulously tracking their production, setting a dangerous precedent that would ultimately deepen their enslavement. The following day, the Israelites returned to find only Egyptian tasters awaiting them, with their previous day's output now established as a mandatory quota. Thus, the subjugation of the Israelites commenced in earnest, marking a significant turning point in their collective history, and leading to an era of profound hardship and struggle. The role of the Leviim in divine service, in the context of their unique status within the Israelite community, the purification of the Leviim, as detailed in Parashat Baalosha, takes on profound significance. God commanded Moses to take the Leviim from among the Israelites and to purify them, a process that involved an unusual ritual of full body shaving and immersion in water. This purification was not simply a ceremonial act, it was a necessary preparation for the Leviim to undertake their sacred duties, as they were to take the place of the firstborn, who had forfeited their privilege due to their participation in the sin of the golden calf. The requirement for such a purification ritual raises critical questions about the Leviim's role in the larger narrative of the Israelites. Despite their active opposition to the idolatrous worship of the golden calf, rallying around Moses to exact justice against the idolaters, the tribe of Levi still required a process of atonement. This paradox suggests that even those who stood firm in their faith and commitment can carry a certain burden of responsibility for the actions of their community. The Talmud highlights the concept of deadness, applied to various states of being such as poverty, leprosy, blindness, and childlessness, each representing a disconnection from the source of life and community. In this context, the connection between the Levi and the leper becomes evident. While the Leviim did not engage in the worship of false gods, their inability to prevent the community from succumbing to idolatry reflects a deeper concern regarding their connection to Klal Yisrael, the collective body of the Jewish people. This notion of communal responsibility underscores the importance of vigilance and active engagement in preserving faith, especially during times of crisis. The parable of the poster, an in-depth exploration of unity and responsibility in Klal Yisrael, the intricate relationship between the tribe of Levi, the broader community of Klal Yisrael, and Hashem is one that evokes profound insights into themes of unity, responsibility, and spiritual leadership. This multifaceted connection can be beautifully illustrated through a compelling parable. Envision a poster affixed to a wall, hanging precariously by just one corner. Although the majority of the poster may seem to be detached, As long as that singular corner remains adhered to the wall, we claim that the poster is indeed still connected. This metaphor serves as a poignant reflection of the relationship between Klal Yisrael and Hashem, especially in the aftermath of one of the most troubling events in Jewish history, the incident of the golden calf. The story of the golden calf is a narrative layered with complexity and insight. It unfolds during a critical moment in the journey of the Israelites, who, having just been liberated from the shackles of Egyptian slavery, are awaiting the return of Moses from Mount Sinai. In their anxiety and uncertainty over Moses' prolonged absence, a significant portion of the children of Israel succumbed to the allure of idolatry, fashioning a golden idol to worship. This act of rebellion raises a crucial question. If the majority of Klal Yisrael turned away from Hashem, how could the tribe of Levi, which refrained from participating in this grievous sin, ensure that the bond with Hashem was not irreparably severed? The answer lies in understanding the intricate dynamics of communal unity, individual responsibility, and the transformative role of leadership within the community. Historically, the tribe of Levi was distinct even before the exodus from Egypt. While the other tribes endured the excruciating hardships of slavery, the Leviim were spared from this suffering. This exemption bred a sense of detachment. They were somewhat removed from the collective experience of their fellow Israelites. Their focus on spiritual pursuits and religious scholarship created a divide that, although it elevated their own status, distanced them from the shared struggles of Klal Yisrael. As a result, while the Leviim did not directly engage in the sin of the golden calf, their emotional and spiritual aloofness allowed the last threads of the connection to Hashem to fray, creating the conditions for this catastrophic event. The Leviim's responsibility becomes even more pronounced when viewed through the lens of Chassidic teachings, which emphasize the essential bond between the tzaddik and the people they lead. This relationship is not merely one of authority and obedience, rather it is a mutual obligation that fosters spiritual growth and connection. The tzaddik serves as a conduit through which divine blessings flow to the community, while the community's engagement with the tzaddik can elevate and purify the entire nation. However, the Leviim's failure to fulfill their role in nurturing this essential connection left them vulnerable and isolated. The figure of Moses Rabbeinu serves as an archetype of the ideal leader, embodying the principles of connection and responsibility. Raised in the opulence of Pharaoh's palace, Moses never forgot his heritage or the plight of his people. When he witnessed the suffering of the Israelites, he took decisive action, risking his own life to defend them. This deep commitment to his people underscores a significant theme in Jewish leadership. True leaders do not isolate themselves within the confines of authority. They actively engage with their communities, sharing in their struggles and aspirations. His subsequent plea to Hashem after the golden calf incident, "If you are going to wipe them out, you must take me too," demonstrates the depth of his connection with Klal Yisrael. Moses understood that his fate was intrinsically intertwined with that of the nation, illustrating the essence of compassionate and responsible leadership. Following the devastating incident of the golden calf, Hashem informed Moses of his intention to wipe out the Israelites and start anew with Moses as the progenitor of a new generation. This divine pronouncement presented a significant moral dilemma for Moses, who, embodying the highest ideals of leadership, interceded on behalf of his people. He appealed to Hashem's mercy, reminding the Almighty of the covenant made with the patriarchs and the promises of a great nation. Hashem ultimately accepted Moses' plea, revealing to him the 13 attributes of mercy, an enduring formula for forgiveness. This moment of divine compassion underscores the profound impact of Moses' connection to his people, demonstrating how unity, empathy, and selflessness can alter the course of history. After the golden calf incident, the purification of the Leviim marked a crucial turning point in their role within Klal Yisrael. This purification process involved various rituals, including shaving their hair and bringing offerings. These acts were not merely symbolic. They represented a necessary process of reconnection and rededication to their divine mission. The repetition of the phrase, "and the Leviim shall be brought," in the Torah signifies the importance of their relationship with the larger community. Initially, the Lavim were brought only to the gate of the tabernacle, but their elevation could only occur once they bound themselves to the rest of Klal Yisrael. This gathering reinforced their mutual bond of service, allowing the Levim to experience both a spiritual uplift and the opportunity to serve as intermediaries between the people and Hashem. Moreover, the act of the Israelites laying their hands upon the Leviim is emblematic of the unity and connection that must exist between spiritual leaders and the people they serve. This physical act of connection fortified the bond between the two, enabling the Levium to transform into a wave offering, a metaphor for their elevated status as representatives of Klal Yisrael in divine service. They were no longer just isolated individuals. They became the embodiment of the collective spirit of the nation before Hashem. The purification process itself included a significant component of humility and accountability. The Levium, having distanced themselves from the collective through their aloofness, had to undergo a transformative experience akin to a spiritual rebirth. The shaving, akin to the punishment for one who separates themselves from the community, served as a powerful reminder of the consequences of failing to engage with one's brethren. By confronting and healing this rift, the tribe of Levi prepared themselves for their unique mission, to represent Klal Yisrael in divine service, thereby bringing all of Israel closer to Hashem. In essence, the parable of the poster serves as a profound metaphor for understanding the delicate balance of unity, responsibility, and leadership within Klal Yisrael. The tribe of Levi, while distinct in their role, must recognize their integral position in the spiritual welfare of the entire nation. The events surrounding the golden calf serve as a stark reminder of the dangers of disconnection, while the subsequent purification of the Levium illustrates the power of unity and commitment. Just as a poster remains attached by its corner, the bond between the people and Hashem persists, rooted in shared responsibility and a commitment to spiritual integrity.